Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bahashem Yashai Brakatham, wa Yahweh Shemalatham Bahashem Yahweh. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yala. You understand? For the Brotherhood class, you already know what it is. Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live on I.S.U.P.K Montreal, I.S.U.P.K Toronto, I.S.U.P.K IET, and I.S.U.P.K in Boston, UPK on YouTube. And we live also on I.S.U.P.K Canada, I.S.U.P.K Montreal on Facebook. I have today with me. And also we're live on Bigo on my page, Brock Yellow UPK. I have today joining us on Bigo, Officer 5000 a Warrior, and Officer 1000 Shy One, and Salaki other one. Do you want to mute one of your devices?
Yeah, Salaki, I was trying to figure that out. Am I can I be heard okay right now? Or is there an echo?
On my side, your Tawab, you may want to turn down the phone though.
Turn down the phone. I got the phone turned down. I have the phone volume off right now.
You know what you could do is no, I can mute him on Bigo at the same time. I just forgot. So you should be Tawab now. I don't want. So again, this is the Brotherhood class. We're live, I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Toronto, IET, and Boston on YouTube, I.S.U.P.K Montreal, and Canada on Facebook. We're live, Barack Yella, UPK, Young Man, UPK, who's I think that's Judah. Yeah, you understand? This is the Brotherhood class, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday. You already know where we teach since 1969 that the real biblical Jews of antiquity are so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and we need to start gathering together, especially in these end times that we're in right now. You understand? We're seeing a lot of signs like Christ told us to watch for, where we're going to understand that it is time like never before to gather one another together. It's time to end all the quarrels that you have amongst brothers, amongst sisters, in your marriage, outside your marriage, and whatnot. It's time to lock in. We're about to see this part 3 of our series. I don't know if y'all noticed. Part 1 was with Officer Malak. We had part 2 with Salakia, newly raised Captain Kazak Imad. You understand? And now we have Officer a Warrior and Shaiwan with us. Of course, I don't want you. If y'all want to chime in, feel free to chime in.
God.
We're going to go over a couple articles and play a clip. We're going to understand how we're the only thing we got. When I mean we, I mean so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. We have nothing without one another. You understand? Without your parents, you have nothing. Without your family, you have nothing. Without your brothers and sisters, you have nothing. You understand? That's why it's so heavy, because Captain Hadar said this in class, right? On Tuesday for the scripture breakdown. Nothing matters outside the truth. You understand? Nothing matters. And guess what's being in the truth means? Brotherhood, sisterhood. Outside of brotherhood and sisterhood, which is the epitome of our culture, the epitome of our laws, there is nothing that matters, right? And of course, if there's any questions or comments in the chat, feel free to put your questions or comments in. You understand? Make sure if you're so-called Black, Latino, Native American, Indian, man, woman, on your father's side, click the sign in and sign out links in the chat, whatever channel you're tuning in from, if you want to be part of the school. Salak, Yadawanya. Anything you want to say before we get into these articles real quick?
God, no, this yeah, if I could, this is a heavy topic. You know what I mean? I say that because of everything we're seeing on the earth right now. You know what I mean? I keep seeing, what did I see? A group on I think as soon as I opened this Beagle app, I saw something about, whites got to gather together. You know what I mean? It was something like that. I've been on the app nothing but a minute, and I'm like, these other nations already understand how important it is to, you know what I mean, to gather together. And it's unfortunate that blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous don't. You know what I mean? One more point, I saw there was something that happened with the Asian dude that didn't get convicted for unaliving that young boy. And I saw a sister on Facebook post, You know what I mean? Now is the time to boycott Asian restaurants. And I'm looking at it like, okay, you know, you're starting to get onto it. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that a young man has to lose his life. It's unfortunate that a young man and his family isn't able to receive justice in order for our people to wake up and realize, you know what I mean? There's something to gathering together. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a heavy topic. You know what I mean? I'm excited to get into it, and let's rock it up.
Khan, Khan. Also, Warrior on the Beagle, you want to chime in real quick before we get into the topic?
That Christ said, love your brother he loved you. That's to the point that you're making, like we already got. That's what Christ was trying to explain. You know, when he was here, for us to start coming back and stop being, you know, evil to one another, stop being, you know, looking at each other as oppositions. More so look at it as, like you said, brotherhood and sisterhood. Let's come back as a nation. Let's build this nation back together. Continue to be evil to one another. Continue to, you know, sin against each other. And we can never stand against each other. Stand together. Never stand. That's what I'm having.
Khan, damn right, sir. The water out one. And real quick, I just want to jump, start with this. You understand? Share my screen. It's like Officer Sean once said, this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. Meaning what? Listen, the Lord knows we're a stiff-necked people, yeah? The Lord knows that. He told us that, what is it, during when we were building the golden calf? He told us that. He told Moses, yo, these people are stiff-necked. In the book of Baruch, he reiterated it. He said, these people are stiff-necked, like they're hard-headed. You understand? It said, like, I think, again, in Isaiah somewhere, we're a hard-headed people. So much so that we had to be told twice to gather together. We had to be reminded, yo, gather together, yeah? Now, make sure you gather together. In the UPK, we don't be sure of something. We make sure. And that's the spirit right here. You understand? You have to make sure you gather together. It says it twice. If you missed it the first time, then it tells you again, yea, gather together. Oh, nation not desired. Who's it talking about? So-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. How do you know you are the nation not desired? Listen, regardless of how many so-called Palestinians, Afghanis, Iraqis, Syrians that the white man hates, guess what? He's still letting in the refugees regardless. But you know who he's kicking out? Mexicans who built America. Haitians. The number one people deported from Canada are Jamaicans. You understand? Not the illegal Africans, not the illegal East Indians that are running amok in West Coast, BC, and Brampton, right? We are the number one people deported. The people that they forgot even to mention, even their existence, are the Native American Indians. We are that nation not desired, so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native, the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? Verse 2 says, before the decree bring forth. What is a decree? See, this is the problem. Y'all read the Bible without any knowledge of basic definition. Before the decree brings forth, it means before the order is put out there. You understand? Before the signal, before Christ is told to chop heads off. Why? Because we already made a class about it. If you want to be part of the ship of America, you're going to sink with the ship of America. Before that happens and Christ comes to sink that ship, you need to gather together. You need to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments. Before the day pass as the shaft. You see in the Western movies that little dust ball that passes when there's like what do you call it? A duel, a gunfight, a duel between one another. That's what it means. Before that happens, you understand? Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you. It's basically telling you need to gather together right now before it's too late. You should have gathered together last year. we're going to be in desperate times where there's not going to be place for you to hate your Mexican brothers. There's not going to be any space for you to argue among one another. You understand? There's not going to be space for you to argue with your wife, to argue with your husband. Listen, times are drastic right now. Let me just finish this verse. Before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Listen, we're in harsh times. How many of y'all never left the neighborhood? You never left the city. You know, I think also Shaiwan, I'm not sure if you're born in Jamaica, but I know I'm not born in Canada. You understand? A lot of us, and not to put no shade on Judah, because a lot of Judites, they know how to grow food, especially if their family's from the South and they grew up in the South. I ain't gonna ask for the northern tribes. Just like us island boys, you understand? You're gonna have to have no choice but to rely on each other. Manager and Hannah spoke about this last year on the lecture for the Midwest Fire Weekend. Where do we go from there? Y'all better watch these lectures. We watch these lectures. It's so important for you to be in these classes from Monday to Sunday. All these podcasts, all these shows, the lectures are coming up. Understand? Make sure you make it to Nashville for the Southern Cookout, to the Midwest Fire Weekend in Chicago this year. You understand? Make it like it's the Passover. Make it like it's law for you to be in these classes. Why? Because it's so important for us to obey the laws, to be able to live. It's important for you to be in these classes, to be able to learn how to live. You understand? Make that's the spirit you want to have. Because in the times that we're in, boy, we're about to go through these articles. We're going to see that regardless of what you think and how you've been conditioned, you're starting to wake up against your own will that there is no such thing as a utopia where we all gather together as the human race. That was made up. In art, John Muhammad brought that out. I don't know if you noticed. Art controls the people. Michael Jackson sang, "We are the world, we are the children." The Christian church been telling you, God so loved the world, he loves everybody. But everybody shows you nobody loves everybody. Imagine that. So who's lying? Is everybody lying, or is the Christian church lying? You understand? Salaki for being long-winded, I don't want.
Nah, that's so heavy. And everything you said is so on point. There's a scripture in Joshua 23. Whenever there's time, I'll do a quick breakdown on Joshua 23, because what you're touching on is something so heavy. I'm glad that this is being spoken about in a brotherhood class, because one of the things that we suffer as a people is a lack of identity. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even know who we are in order to even gather together. You got blacks calling themselves African American. A black man thinks he's American. He thinks he's joined with white people, with white Asians and Chinese Americans, white Americans, African Americans, Arab Americans. They think we're all one country. We're all one nation. You know what I mean? You got brothers, who go and play basketball for the Olympic team of America, and they think they're doing their country proud, because we really believe that, we're all the same people. We're all one nation. Whereas when a Chinese man comes to America, comes to Canada, he doesn't now think he's lost his culture and identity. He doesn't now think that, he's one with the white Canadian and he's one with the Jamaican Canadian. You know what I mean? They have a knowledge of who they are. You know what I mean? And I'll jump into Joshua 23, maybe when we get into some of these scriptures, because it really touches on something that blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous don't understand, that all these other nations do. You know what I mean? So, Salaki.
Okay, that's heavy on. But let's we'll get into some of these articles real quick. Now, of course, Officer a Warrior on Beagle. I'm looking at the screen, so if you ever want to chime in, just let me know. I don't want absolutely. So the first article we're going to get into, we're going to see that Everybody has a bias. Every single nation has a bias, and they love one another. They put their people first. Let me share my screen real quick. This is from CBS News. I don't know if y'all remember. There was a young brother in Texas, Carmelo Anthony, who was bullied by twins, and he used the cleats of his shoes to defend himself. Right now, they're saying it was a knife or scissors. It was the cleats of his shoes, since he's a American football player. And one of the twins, who happened to be both devils, oppressor, the white man, who's the devil the Bible speaks of, passed away, but it was self-defense. Now, we're going to get into the article. It says, jury seated in Carmelo Anthony murder trial after immigration question sparks pushback. All black jurors were dismissed. Now, in his case, he's getting an all white jury, probably in the most racist state in the US. But let's see what this white jury had to say.
If I could on that, priest, because this is part of the thing I was just speaking on, where we have a lack of identity. Like, they're allowed to do something like this because we think we're American. You know what I mean? How many times do you hear Cap Tazariak say something like, there's a difference between white America and black America? You know what I mean? Like, the Jewish man, if he was put on trial for something, you think he's going to let, all Asians sit up there in a trial? This is going on in Jamaica to this day. The court system is run by the British. You mean to tell me you go to an island in Jamaica and you're going to get tried by, some white European man from Britain? It's crazy, because they don't have love and compassion for your people. That you're not their family. You know what I mean? To them, you're an outsider. So for us to allow something like this take place, we think that, okay, Martin Luther King told us, let's integrate. You know what I mean? We're going to integrate into this society because we're all one great nation. Meanwhile, if we understood we should have never joined these people, we would fight to have our own court system, our own judges, our own jury. Something like this would never be allowed.
Right.
These are our enemies being in a position, you know what I mean, to judge us, to decide our future, our fate. You know what I mean? And they don't look at you as family. I remember this devil inside of Canada. He got caught by the police with I think he had like 500 ecstasy pills. And I think when you have over 2 ecstasy pills, for each pill, it's supposed to be 1 count of attempted murder.
Damn.
Because you take 3 pills, you can now overdose and die. You take 4 pills, that's 2 counts, you know what I mean, of attempted murder. 3 pills, that's 3 counts of attempted murder. You know what I mean? You got 500 pills, you got enough to take the life of hundreds of people. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's written in that Canadian law. This devil gets inside the courtroom and sitting in front of the judge, because he's a young man. I think he's like 20 years old. The judge is looking at this man like, damn, this young white man just threw away his whole life over doing something so idiotic. And the judges ended up putting him on house arrest. You know what I mean? They're looking at this young white man like, oh, he made a mistake. He messed up. He's about to throw his whole life away.
Right.
Let's give him a warning rather than throwing the whole book at him and put him in prison for the next 100 years. They're like, let's give this man another chance. And that's the love that they always show their own people. You know what I mean? we look at our own kids and they make a mistake, we're like, damn, like you fucked up. Let me have some compassion on you. But when that's another nation, you sitting there like, who gives a damn about this man? Lock him up, throw away the key, end his life. He did something he shouldn't have done. And that's how they treat us, when we're inside those courtrooms. So to have a whole jury full of another nation of people, that's so diabolical. They don't have the same principles you live by. They don't have the same moral code. You know what I mean? And they're gonna sit up here and be judge and jury to you in your house. It's insanity. We should have never integrated in this place. Salaki.
And Salak, y'all one. That's heavy what you say. And I just want to add to it real quick because I was gonna wait till we get to the part of the article before we bring out this precept. But this is Ecclesiasticus 13 and 15. It says, every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. Listen, that's what we're seeing right now in the Carmelo Anthony case. The whole white jury, it's not even just about having a different nation, right? As a jury, it's about having the nation that is opposing you specifically because they're going to twist the narrative that he unalived one of theirs. That was their potential nephew, whatever his name is, Metcalfe, whatever his name is, that devil, right? That twin. It could have been, their nephew. It could have been one of their sons, one of their relatives. Is their people. And that's so heavy how you said, that judge in Canada that's seeing that little devil with a bunch of pails is like, yo, I feel for you because imagine if it was my son. I would want my son to have another chance at not messing up his future. How many devils that we know in Harvard and in these prestigious, however you pronounce that dumb word, right? In these prestigious educational institution get caught with drugs, get caught with cocaine. Y'all look at the movie. It's called what's it called again? It's called The Preppy, if I'm not mistaken. It's about a poor little white boy, right? I'm gonna get y'all the movie later. It's about a poor little white boy. He goes to a prestigious university. He befriends a Colombian guy, and as they go to Colombia, right? He gets offered cocaine, and he's told that he could make money by smuggling cocaine. Now that brother, the Colombian guy, he don't want to mess up his reputation, so he stops chilling with the white boy. You know what the white boy do? He starts smuggling cocaine, as any white man would do, as any natural born criminal would do. Who am I referring to? These goddamn devils. But the point is this: it becomes a scandal at some point because he's hanging around sons and daughters of people in high positions, and they all get high, and then they get caught. One of them overdosed. Now it's a scandal. It's not irregular to have these people, in scandalous news or acts or whatever the case is. It's not irregular. But then they get slapped on the wrist. Now, if it was a black man, what's that movie again? It was in Florida. That brother that played in a cowboy movie, he's in a movie in Florida, where they're looked at way differently in the eyes of white people. If it was a young black teenager, you understand, doing the same exact thing, or even that Colombian boy that he befriended, but it went right to jail. No slap on the wrist. There is no excuse. It doesn't matter the level of poverty you're in. And we're not justifying a criminal act that our people may commit because of their situation. But when it comes to you, there is no excuse for anything. You understand? I remember in high school when I was younger in the world, I had dreads. They were telling me to wear my dress a certain way. I could not wear my dress if it was not tied, like, for lack of better words, in the ponytail. You understand? It had to be tied. I could not wear my dreads loose. You understand? You have to present yourself a certain way for these people. When it comes to them, it don't matter. They're young, they're wild, it's understandable. they have to adapt. They'll grow out of it. When it comes to us, like, we have to make sure we walk on a straight line. We're walking on eggshells from the moment that our mother becomes pregnant. That's the most dangerous place, because she might be convinced that, yeah, you're gonna have to get rid of it. You understand? Shalom of Samasha Maria Basha Shabbat water for tuning in the Brotherhood class right now. But and that's the position that we're in this society, in this empire. So I wanted to keep that precept for later, but damn, what Officer Sharma brought out was so heavy that we had to bring it out again. It's Ecclesiasticus 13 and 15. It says, every beast loveth his like. There is no gray area in between this.
If I could, Barak.
Out of what kind? Absolutely out of one.
Yeah, and to one of the points Officer a warrior was making earlier, on where Christ said that we got to love our brothers. Like, this scripture is saying every beast loveth his like. And this is something that blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous, we've lost. We don't have love for each other. Let's say in Isaiah, the ox knoweth his master, the ass his master's crib. But my people, they don't consider. Like, we don't know who our owner is. We don't know where we come from. We don't know our identity. I remember asking this. I remember this brother was at Caravana, and he's out there. We're having Zabadi is having a conversation with him, and saying, like, why are you out here watching all these sisters dressed half naked?
I remember.
You know what I mean? And he's sitting there like, well, you know what I mean? Of course I'm coming out here to see all these beautiful women. And Zabadi asked him, would you let your daughters come out to Caravana and dress like this? And that brother said, hell no. You know what I mean? That's the compassion that we've lost as a people. We'll sit here and support, BET and the sisters, whoring themselves off in these music videos. We'll sit here and sell drugs to our own people. Just sit here and destroy each other. This is what we've lost as a people. This is what Christ was talking about when he said, forgive your enemy. He's talking about your own people. Because blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous, like we've lost that as a people. That love that we're supposed to have. That's natural. Like, these sisters out here aborting some of their babies. Like, you losing compassion for your own people, down to your own child. This is what we got to fix in the black community. We have to gather together and learn to love each other. We only do that by throwing away at these other cultures. You know what I mean? Cleaving to these other nations and, trying to mix with them. We got to focus on gathering together and loving our own. We do that. We never sit here to fight to integrate, where we get put in a position where you have nothing but white jurors. That's insanity. You know what I mean? We have to gather together and learn to love each other. And we'll get more into that as we get through this class.
I just want to finish this precept real quick. Every beast loveth his like. Ecclesiasticus 13 and 15 in the Apocrypha. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. We're about to see that right now as we keep on going in this article. You understand? Imagine that. They dismissed a whole black jury just to accept a only white jury in the case of Anthony Carmelo. Let's bring the article back, right? And you'll understand that precept exactly that we just brought out. Again, it says 12 jurors and 6 alternates have been chosen for the Carmelo Anthony murder trial, right? A pool that started with 589 prospective jurors, prospect, was narrowed down after a day of vetting by prosecutors and defense attorneys, meaning they were vetting these potential jurors. You understand? They check if they were qualified or not to determine the fate of this young black man who was accused of murder despite him defending himself while being attacked and being outnumbered. at the same time. You understand? One controversial question that several prospective jurors refused to answer, and all qualified African American jurors being dismissed by the prosecution. Like, why did that happen? Nobody wanted to answer that question. The prosecution argued that they thought that the circumstances surrounding the crime were race neutral and should not require a diverse panel of jurors. See, this, listen, I want to wait till we bring these precepts out. But you see the thing? They said it's race neutral. Therefore, why do we even require a diverse panel? If it's race neutral, why not have a diverse panel? Why not have a diverse jury? If it's race neutral, why is it an all-white jury in the most racist state in the United States of America? It says in Psalms chapter damn. I want to wait till I bring these precepts out. I keep telling y'all, but we have no choice but to give you these precepts. You understand? You use these precepts how? This is our knowledge and understanding in the sight of the nation. Now we understand how to move around these people, how to move around us. You understand? How to act towards one another and towards the other nation. And these people specifically are oppressed with the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. This is what it says about them. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 3, right? It says this: the wicked are estranged from the womb. You should not be surprised at this. This is them from birth. From the moment, you see how we're in danger from the moment we're conceived? They are dangerous from the moment they're conceived. You understand? Like, you see how we're two different levels on the field? You're left, you're right. You're warm, you're cold. We're two different opposites. We're in danger. They are dangerous from the womb. That's what it says right here. The wicked are estranged from the womb. That's their nature. From the moment that the pedophile father busts up in their wicked mother, who's also most likely a pedophile, they are dangerous. They are not to be not to. You need to make sure you're not around these people. The moment that she's pregnant, you see the positive test of that pregnancy test. Yo, just know that there will be a genocide somewhere on the planet. Trees are going to die. Butterflies just went. A species of butterfly went extinct in the U.S. You cannot make that up because our oppressor, the goddamn devil, the Bible speaks of. Let me finish this precept. They go astray as soon as they be born. Listen, the Bible speaks for itself, and the Bible shows you reality. The moment they're conceived, the moment they come out of that womb, out of that woman, no matter if it's one person, they're a single child, twins, or even a whole army of kids, a football team, they are wicked from birth. They go astray as soon as they're born, speaking lies. Meaning what? They just said, listen, it's race neutral, but we don't need a diverse panel. If it's race neutral, why not have a diverse panel? Like, out of all heathen nations that you have on the jury, it's an all-white jury. You could have Asians, you could have East Indians. Not that it really mattered because they hate us regardless. But you had to have an all-white jury for a race-neutral case. White people are the most racist nation on the face of the earth. We're talking about racial neutrality. Our oppressor, you understand why? Our oppressor is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. Devil meaning deceiver. He's deceiving you with these lies. It sounds good. It's about race neutrality. We're neutral. We're non-biased. Meanwhile, it's an all-white jury against a young black man who has no criminal history at all. You understand? Who ended up defending his life while being jumped and outnumbered in the most racist place in the United States. The white man's the devil the Bible speaks of. Salakia, I see you sharing your screen.
Yeah, if I could jump in on this point, like if I were to say, let's say you're over in Iraq and you commit some kind of you break a law over in Iraq. Could you imagine them allowing like a court system from another nation coming into Iraq. Could you imagine them letting America into Iraq to judge the man that broke the crime over in Iraq? If I painted that picture to anybody, they would say you've lost your damn mind. That would never happen.
Right.
But what we've done in the Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous community, we've literally allowed, and given authority to another nation of people over us. Like I shared my screen on this on what's going on in Jamaica right now. Like they're still under the British court system. I hear all these Jamaicans talk about how we're free, we got our freedom, Emancipation Day, this and that. Why the hell are you still under English common law? Like this, I'll just read a quick thing on this. It says, Jamaica's court system is based on English common law. The structure includes local trial courts and domestic appellate court, but the right to appeal extends across the Atlantic. The ultimate court of final appeal for Jamaica is the Privy Council of Britain. You see what I'm saying? This is what Martin Luther King fought for. He fought so that we don't have to have our own schools, our own businesses, our own hospitals. He fought to integrate us into their goddamn court system where they can even say something like, this is supposed to be race neutral. This is insanity that we're living in today.
Right.
We are not the same people. All that one love, Haile Selassie bullshit is a fantasy. All men bleed red, we're all one people. All that stuff is nonsense. Like white people taught us the ideology that God loves everybody and that we need to integrate and learn to get along and forgive them. That was a good story to the slave. Something I always notice is you ask a white Christian if they would defend their house from an intruder. A white Christian will tell you, I'll put a bullet in a man's head if they come into my property. You ask a black Christian that same question, they're like, I know Jesus would want me to forgive. And that's the sickness that we have as a people. We don't know who we are. We don't understand that we're a nation of people. And nations of people have enemies. Most nations have their own land and their own borders, their own government, their own policing system. You're in America, you wouldn't allow some Asian judge to fly from, whatever city in Asia to come try, some domestic court problem. That's insanity. Everything is race related. You know what I mean? When you're living in like a quote unquote melting pot like America, everything is race related. Because black people have different moral codes than whites. Whites have different moral codes than Asians. They don't live by the same rules. Nor do they give a damn about you the same way they care about their own people. This is an absolute nightmare blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous are living, where we've integrated into these people. We need to separate. We need to gather together, join together, build our own kingdom, our own nation, our own borders, and learn to love each other.
Khan. Most in Christ. Hey, Officer Shaw, that was heavy, you understand? And real quick before we get into the article, I see a few comments in the chat. Brother was saying, I was provoked to jealousy when I heard about that jury. Listen, we should be mad. We should absolutely be mad, especially when we're told to not be mad. We're told to be, pacified. That's the problem. You understand? We're told that it's wrong for you to be angry when something wrong is done to you. That's how we're conditioned. We should absolutely be appalled. Is sugarcoating it. I ain't gonna hold you. You can be appalled. You're sugarcoating it. Be pissed off. Be to the point where, it says what? Be angry, but sin not. This is the state that we should be in. Y'all teaching us the Bible in Christian church, but you're not telling us to be angry and to not sin when it comes to anything done wrong to our people. When it comes to seeing black men being lynched in 2026, a whole white jury in Texas in 2026. This is Jim Crow all over again. What do you mean we should not be angry? We should all be treated the same. If that's the case, shouldn't any white criminal be prosecuted with an all-black jury? Listen, prosecute any white supremacist with an all-black jury.
Right.
And I ain't gonna hold you. It ain't gonna make no difference because our people have been taught to love white people. Y'all been taught to hug Klans members. So even if you have an all-black jury, listen, a Klan member is safer with an all-black jury than a mixed or all-white jury. I ain't gonna hold you. In this day and age, that's a fact, and that is a sad reality. You understand?
Yeah, that really is. I remember that family. They were crying. I can't remember. Was that Breonna Taylor? It was that white devil cop.
They hugged the woman in the court.
That's our people right there, man.
He's a police officer that unalived a brother that she was sleeping with. She thought it was an intruder in her house, and she unalived him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the family hugged her in the court.
Yeah.
Dylan Ruth Storm was hugged and said he was forgiven by the family of those that he unalived in the church. You white people are safe around us. You're safe.
That's why it says in Isaiah the whole head is sick.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? Blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous, we are sick. Stockholm syndrome is real. You know what I mean? We've suffered so many different abuses from our oppressor. You know, we've lost our damn mind over here in North and South Central America. You know what I mean? We're absolutely sick. You know what I mean? That's why Christ said, I came for those that need a physician. That's how you know, Christ only came for blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous.
Right.
There are people that need healing. You know what I mean? Because like these stories, they're absolutely sickening.
And before we keep going on the article, because we have another article and a quick clip to play for time's sake, I want to get through these comments. Also, it says it reveals the hypocrisy of these devils to act as if they're not this way. You know, they act like, it's this. We're non-biased. So if you're non-biased, why do you have an all-white jury? It's like we're on the Beagle app right now. We're also tuning live on the Beagle app for our Brotherhood class, right? Which we always do every Thursday. Every now and then we switch it to French and English. It shows what? When we have these debates, they specifically pick certain judges that would go against either side. They're biased. You cannot be biased when judging a matter. It doesn't matter if you're here or not. You cannot be biased. And this is proof that it tells us that in the law, to not be biased, to have a just measure. It tells us that in the law. You understand? Of course, the law was given to the Israelites. So how can we expect no one else to not be biased? We're the only people who are fit to judge every single matter. It says that in Corinthians, we will be able to judge small matters, even the smallest matter. I'm just paraphrasing. Why? Because we're the only people that are fit to rule. The only people that are fit to rule. You think nobody's going to be held accountable in the kingdom if they do something wrong? They will be held accountable regardless. You understand? You think out of rage, one of for 1 Corinthians chapter 6, right? Let me pull it up real quick. Let's say something happens, right? In the kingdom. One of Officer Shilo's slaves, he's cleaning the pig pen while I pass by, and I get dirt on my garment, on my shoe. I could just unalive Officer Shilo's slave. They think that I could just do that? You understand? Right? The point is this: I will be held accountable. You understand? I will be held accountable, as I should. Just because now that we're in rulership and it says to do unto her double, we're just gonna go to Africans and unalive Africans. We're just gonna do the same thing the white man does to us, or did to us, or keep doing to us. See, this is why there is not one nation that is fit to rule, but the 12 tribes of Israel under Christ, under the Most High God. Let me get this real quick, right? Salakia. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2, and then we keep going in the article. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? For time's sake, the saints, who are the saints? Israelites. I think Psalms chapter 5 and 50 or 50 and 5, it tells you who are the saints, Israelites. Throughout the Bible, the saints are the ones who are under the covenant. Who's that? Israelites. Basically says, do you not know that the Israelites will judge the world? We will be the judges. We will be the jury. You understand? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? You understand? We will judge every single matter on the planet. It don't matter how small the matter is. It don't matter if it's a property dispute. It don't matter if, listen, like I said, if I unalive one of Shilo's slave by accident just because I don't like his face, you understand? I will be held accountable. There's not going to be, Shiloh is not going to be biased whether or not he likes the slave. We're not biased in here. We're all held accountable to the same standard. That's why you people are not fit to rule. Israelites are fit to rule. You understand? And this is why it's so important for you to be in these classes, for you to understand this, that you need to come back to the Lord so that righteous rulership is put back in place. Because without righteous rulership, you will have an all-white jury like you're having right now in the Carmelo Anthony case. But let's keep going with the article because we have another one, right? For time's sake, Salakia. Let me jump down there. This is the key part, one of the key parts of the article, right? It says, media coverage raises concerns about juror bias. When prosecutors ask prospective jurors if media coverage of the case had led them to form opinions, several, meaning multiple, admitted it had. Listen, what did they read in the news? Young black man killed a young white boy, stabbed him to death. That's what they read in the news. Now they're being, and they're honest about it. Apparently, they're non-biased, right? They're saying, yeah, we're biased. Yes, it affects our judgment. Yes, we're gonna be against them. When prosecutors asked prospective jurors if media coverage of the case had led them to form opinions, several admitted it had, with one replying, I don't know if it's going to affect me, but I can't tell you those thoughts are not inside my head. What thoughts? About a young black boy taking the life of a young white man. That's the thoughts that was put in his mind after seeing the media coverage, and especially biased media coverage. We all know that's propaganda. You pull up articles about Carmelo Anthony. It's a murder trial. It doesn't say self-defense anywhere. You understand? It says he was stabbed with a knife. He was stabbed with scissors. Come to find out, he defended himself with his cleats on his shoes. You know, cleats is for tractions. For those who don't know, right? When you play like sports like football, American football, he defended himself, being jumped by two bullies that are known bullies. This is the proper. This is what is not telling you about the case. Now the media coverage say, yeah, you know what? It do influence our judgment. Yeah, we're not supposed to be biased, but we will be, I guess. Because listen, it could have been my nephew that got stabbed by this young black criminal. It could have been my nephew. It could have been my son. These little white girls, they're gonna say, could have been their husband, their future husband. Hey, listen, let me help you, you little white girls. He had a twin. You understand? Y'all better mourn him. It was a tragedy, but he had a twin. So y'all focus on the twin. He gone. You understand? The point is this, right? They're just admitted that they're going to be biased with their judgment. And this is what we just read again in Ecclesiasticus 13 and 15, right? Every beast loveth his like. They're going to make sure they're going to watch that media coverage over and over again, as you should watch the slave movies over and over again. Not because it's going to make you biased. You will just wake up to the truth. Like Christ said, the truth shall set you free. But they just want to make sure that their hatred is deeply rooted. Even though it's going to be here regardless, they want to make sure there's nothing that could wave away that hatred for blacks, Latinos, and Native ever. They don't care if they're going to be biased, and they can't be if you're on a jury. They don't care about that. They admitted it to the prosecutor. They think the prosecutor is going to change the jury? The prosecutor is biased, but they don't give a damn. And every man loveth his neighbor. That's their son that lost their life in their eyes. Well, guess what? It could have been my son. It could have been my brother that got jumped. What should I tell him? Not to defend himself? That's what I should tell him? And what if Carmelo Anthony had lost his life? Then what? You know what would have happened? They would have got a slap on the wrist. It would have been an incident. They never meant it. You know. It was never meant to happen. That's what would have happened. Now that Carmelo Anthony is the one that they say was the perpetrator or the aggressor, come to find out he was just defending himself, they're gonna say, well, you know what? Black people are what Donald Trump said about the Central Park Five. They are super predators. That's what Donald Trump said about 5 innocent teens, black and Latino, about some white woman that got sexually assaulted. I think, in Central Park. That's what they call it, Central Park 5. He said they are super predators. Come to find out, all of them were innocent. That bias that is playing in these juries' mind is all propaganda, meaning false information to create a narrative. When we tell you to watch these slave movies, this is not false information. That's actually all sugar-coated. I keep telling you, so like I'm translating a document for Officer Shayan, Officer Kayadwan, you understand? Officer Mashamar, I'm translating a document for them. When you see all the atrocities that happen in the French Caribbean, they literally blew us up. I'm not making this up. They stuffed our anal cavities with cannon powder and lit us up. And you would have thought, you know what? That's exaggeration. Come to find out, they were doing that to Hamites in Congo. They were stuffing them with dynamite and blowing them up. And they were going to trial for that. You understand? They buried us to the neck, poured honey on our faces, and let the red ants and the wasp eat us alive. That's not propaganda. That's facts. And you hate to hear the facts. You want to what? I'm gonna bring one last precept before we jump to the other article for time's sake. This is what Isaiah chapter 30. This is what you love to hear, right? And of course, I wonder if you want to chime in at any moment. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 10 says this, which say to the seers, it's talking about you. This is what you said to the people who are seeing, to the prophets. This was to the watchers, to the watchmen. This is what you, as the flock, Tell the herdsman, tell the shepherd, see not. Close your eyes, turn a blind eye. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. You don't want to hear that you have to separate from these nations. You don't want to hear that you have to gather together away from these nations. You don't want to hear that Martin Luther King was a sexual deviant sellout that only wanted to sleep with white women. Even if we bring you the truth about him, realizing that it was a mistake, you don't want to hear this. What do you want to hear? Speak unto us smooth things and prophesy deceits. Salakia. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear smooth things. Smooth is like, yo, there's good white people out here. And I don't deny, you know where they are? They're kissing the boots of the prophets. You want to think that, you know what, Carmelo Anthony maybe went overboard. He's tarnishing the image of the black man. That's what you want to hear. The truth is, he was defending himself. The truth is, just like any other blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, he was suffering from post-traumatic disorder, from generational PTSD. That's what he had. The proof, where's the proof? An all-white jury for his case is the proof. Propaganda about the situation is the proof. But you don't want to hear about that. It's not propaganda. It's just regular news, regular media coverage. Whatever we have in the slave documents is made up. Slave ships never existed, right? That's what you want to hear. You want to hear us smoke weed every day and be happy. What's it, Bob Marley? You see, that's the problem. You listen to white people too much because Bob Marley, who's a white man, told you don't worry and be happy, and that's exactly what you want to hear. You understand? Salakia.
God, that's heavy. You know what I mean? Something else I was also noticing is on that jury, there was 11 women.
Good night.
Like, I think about all the judges throughout the Bible. 98% of them are men. You know what I mean? And you ever think? I don't know if you've ever seen this, bro, but a mother and their children, when they go out, a lot of times, like that, those children, they can do no wrong in that mother's eyes. You know what I mean? Or there's a fight that breaks out at the schoolyard. That mother is so quick to defend her child, overhearing what actually happened. So when I'm looking at this jury, I'm like, damn, not only were devils all on the jury, but 11 of them are women. They see that article seeing, black man murders a white man. You better believe their emotions are running wild. You know what I mean? They're not thinking clearly. A black man murdered one of my people? Oh, we gonna get this Negro. You know what I mean? So many times we say, think of all the horrors that have been done to us by white women. A lot of times we like to say the white man, these white women, they are responsible for a lot of death in our community. You know what I mean? So what's the scripture say in Proverbs? When the righteous rule, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people mourn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine seeing how this nation rules over this earth. Like, seeing how America runs the earth. This is a place of mourning. You got women judges up there. You got, women jurors. They sitting up here. Shoot, didn't we have did they make a woman president yet? You know what I mean? They voting for Kamala Harris and that other dude's wife. You know what I mean? You about to put a woman in position to rule this whole earth. Good night. What are they supposed to do in a time of war? You're gonna have a woman president sit here and make decisions on, how this country is run? That's insanity. Could you picture that, Brock? You're a young black man. and you're looking at 11 white female jurors. you don't stand a chance inside that courtroom.
It's like if I could add one, just to add on what you said before we went to the other article, right? The case of Rosewood. I keep referring people movies. Y'all watch the movies Rosewood. That truly happened though. It was about a white woman. She was a whore, having sex, cheating on her husband, having sex with every single white man in Rosewood, and she lied about being raped by a black man. Just like the woman that got Emmett Till killed, she lied about being catcalled by Emmett Till. White women are probably 100,000 times way worse than white men. If these, I don't saw all white jury, but if the majority women, that brother is absolutely in danger. White women are the one telling our women to get all the abortions. White women are the one telling our women, your body, your choice, be a whore. White women are way worse than white men. That brother's life is absolutely in danger. Salaki.
Kano, if I could, bro, I think this would be a good
Okay.
point to bring out that scripture. Can you grab the book of Joshua, chapter 23?
Karawakan.
Joshua 23 and start at verse 1. Because, again, this whole idea of, we're all one nation, and, it's just normal to have all these integrated melting pots of a society, thinking that we're all going to get along. It's such a fairy tale. You had brought an article the other day, where it was, what were the Indians saying? They said something like, those Arabs, they said we have like 1,000 gunmen ready to go at any time. You know what I mean? You got 1,000 Arabs inside of Canada, and they can push the button from Iraq saying go. You know what I mean? Because that's their family, that's their nation. They stick together. They understand that they gotta fight for each other and build up their nation. If you could read that verse.
Karawakan. This is the book of Joshua, chapter 23, verse 1. And it came to pass a long time after that the Lord had given rest unto Israel from all their enemies round about.
Mm. That's what blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous need. We need some goddamn rest. Like, we need some peace. And in order to have that, we have to be protected from our enemies.
Right.
Like, we don't understand that the white man is our enemy. We don't understand that the Arab is our enemy. The Chinese man is our enemy. I saw somebody post in the Bigo chat something about Islam.
Damn.
If you understood who you were, black man, you wouldn't even be thinking about Islam. It wouldn't register in your mind to convert to some other nation's way of life, because you would understand that the Arabs are our enemies. They had a whole Arab slave trade, hundreds of years,
Right.
putting us into captivity under some, hard bondage. And you're going to turn and be a Muslim? Have you lost your mind, black man? There was a time the Lord gave us rest from our enemies. Right? Keep reading that verse.
Karawakan. That Joshua waxed old and stricken in age.
Keep going.
Karawakan. Verse 2. And Joshua called for all Israel and for their elders and for their heads and for their judges and for their officers, and said unto them, I am old and stricken in age.
Now imagine that. If blacks, Hispanics, had indigenous, had elders, had heads, had judges, Imagine our own judges. Carmelo Anthony would have never happened to Carmelo Anthony.
Right.
We had our own officers. We had our own military, our own, police and government system. This is rest for a black man. This is what we need. Keep reading.
Karawakan. Verse 3. And ye have seen all that the Lord your God had done unto all these nations because of you.
Ooh-wee. And what did the Lord do to all these different nations? The Arabs, the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Amalekites, all these other nations in the Bible that were listed. The Most High destroyed these nations. The Most High unalived the Egyptians. He destroyed them. He killed them. Every firstborn of the Egyptians were slaughtered. And we remember that every Passover.
Damn right.
Why? Because these are our enemies. How are you going to be in 2026 and set up a goddamn Egyptian to be a judge and jury over you? Set up a white man to be judge and jury over you. That dream that Martin Luther King had is an absolute nightmare for us. Keep reading.
Karawakan. For the Lord your God is he that hath fought for you.
Not only that, but we have a power that fought for us. Do you imagine that there's going to be a time when Christ cracks that sky and he defeats all of our enemies? He's going to unalive them. He's going to remove them. He's going to fight for black, Hispanic, and indigenous. And you think in that kingdom you're going to have a white man as a juror over you? That's not rest for us. To have a people that hate you filling up the entire jury stand. That is absolute hell. And that's what we live in today. Absolute hell. We should never be in this position as a people. Keep reading.
Karawakan. Salakia. Joshua chapter 23, verse 4. Behold, I have divided unto you by lot these nations that remain, to be an inheritance for your tribes.
That's what these nations should be. They should be our slaves. They should be our servants. And when you think of a slave and a servant, because of what white people did, like your mind goes to, you mean to tell me that the Lord's going to fight for us and now blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous are going to sexually molest some little children? Hell no. That's what white people do. White people threw our babies and used them as alligator bait. White people ripped our babies out of a mother's womb. White people, cut off the breasts of a woman so they couldn't breastfeed their child. That's what white people did. That's not what the God of the Bible told blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous to do. But understand that we're meant to be kings and priests on this earth, ruling this earth in righteousness. We need to be in power so things like that never happen. Keep reading.
Karawakan. From Jordan, with all the nations that I have cut off, even unto the great sea westward.
Come on, jump down to verse 7.
Karawakan. Judges chapter 23, verse 7. That ye come not among these nations.
That ye what?
That ye come not among these nations.
The Lord doesn't want us among these other nations. He doesn't. He wants separation. He wants segregation. He doesn't want us to integrate. He wants blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous to gather together and not come among the other nations. Keep going.
Karawakan. These that remain among you.
Keep going.
Karawakan. Neither make mention of the name of their gods.
Imagine that. Where white people don't have to rule over you. And as that is taking place, the Most High is now saying and you don't even got to make mentions of their gods.
Right.
I'm going to remove them so that we no longer have to think about Christianity. We no longer have to think about Islam. We don't have to think about being Buddhists and 5%ers and whatever goddamn religion that these other nations have presented to us. The Lord said, don't come around these other people so that you don't have to make mention of their gods. You think we're going to follow Islam? Have you lost your mind? Show me Islam in the Bible. Show me where God told the children of Israel, to follow the nation of Islam. You're not going to find it. That's why the I.S.U.P.K is so valuable for Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous, because we're going to tell you who you are. We're going to tell you that you are the children of Israel, God's beloved, God's firstborn, the apple of his eye.
Damn right.
The nation that is above all nations on the face of the earth. We're not going to take on these other nations' religions. We're not going to even make mention of their gods. Keep going.
Karawakan. Nor cause to swear by them.
Khan, nor cause to swear by them. Your auntie's sitting there with white Jesus, a picture of some white man on her wall, worshiping this man like he's God. We're so sick. We're so lost. Like when you brought up that scripture, gather together, get in the I.S.U.P.K and we'll teach you to serve the nigger God.
Damn right.
We'll teach you to serve the Black Christ. You know what I mean? Black, Hispanics, and Indigenous. This is our culture. We need to come back to our God, not these other nations' God. You're going to sit up there and pray to white Jesus? This is why you put yourself in the position to be judged by 11 white women. That's so sad. And Christ said that these things are going to keep happening until that man of sin be revealed. Like, these things that take place are so sad, but it has to happen to wake Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous up to say, maybe we got it wrong. Maybe Martin Luther King's dream to integrate was bad for us. Maybe like that sister waking up and posting, maybe we should, no longer buy and support Asian food, Asian restaurants. You goddamn right we shouldn't. We need to gather together because these people are our enemies. And if we had any sense, we would pray that the Most High destroy them. Remove them out of our way so we can come back to serving our God. Keep going.
Karawakan. Neither serve them.
Nor serve them. Imagine serving this nation. King Solomon said, I saw princes, walking the earth as servants. He saw Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous, a people who are meant to rule, serving this earth. When the Most High told Rebecca that the elders shall serve the younger, not supposed to be serving white people. You know how sick that is? You know how much better we are as a people? There's nobody stronger, smarter, more intelligent, more capable than a Black, Hispanic, or Indigenous man.
Damn right.
See it on this earth. We have the greatest inventions. You can't touch us just look at the Olympics alone. You can't jump higher than us, run faster than us, jump farther than us. You put a Black sister in the skating rink for the first time, she's winning the gold medal. You put a Black sister inside of a swimming pool, as soon as she's in there, she's winning the gold medal. You can't touch us on any level, but yet we're sitting here serving white people. That is insanity. Keep going.
Karawakan. Nor bow yourselves unto them.
Bowing to that white Jesus. That's crazy. Get one more verse. Keep going.
Karawakan. Joshua chapter 23, verse 8. But cleave unto the Lord your God.
That's what we should do. We shouldn't join these other nations. We shouldn't serve them. We shouldn't bow down to their gods. We shouldn't be kissing some rock in Mecca, worshiping Muhammad, some other nation. When these people, they tell you in the Quran that the black man is nothing. The black man is some disgusting, second class citizen under the Muslims. That they're here to serve the Muslims. And you're going to go and be a second class citizens to the Muslims? To the Arabs? Are you crazy? God said, cleave unto your God. Cleave unto your nation, your culture, your identity. Pick up the book and read your history. Read what your ancestors did. We come from mighty men. We come from Noah, from Abraham, from Isaac, from Jacob. All these badass prophets that the entire earth looks up to. That's the culture that we got to cleave onto. That's the nation that we have to cleave onto. Because that's what we've lost as a people.
Right.
Right? Finish out that verse.
Khan. As ye have done unto this day.
Khan, and that's why we had rest. That time in history, blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous had rest. Because we cleaved unto each other. We gathered ourselves as a nation. We said we want the promise that the Most High has for us. We're not going to settle for anything less. We're gonna serve the Most High so that He can fight our enemies for us, so that He can remove these other nations out of our sight and their religions, and their way of life, because none of it works for us. We've seen that. We've tested it. And it has got us nowhere. We got to cleave unto the Lord our God, gather together as a nation, and then all these problems will be solved. Salakia.
No, damn right. That was heavy. Hey, give a hand to Officer Shaiwan. You understand? But listen, again, that is the solution, right? We need to be under the same umbrella. What is this umbrella? That's the covering of the Lord. You understand? What is the umbrella for? To protect you from the rain. That's what the umbrella is for. This umbrella is following the laws, statutes, and commandments. You don't know how to open the umbrella and how to hold it. So what do you have to do? You have to learn. Where? In these classes provided by the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. Nowhere else. You understand? But Salak, yeah, for time's sake, now I ain't gonna hold you. We might have to do a part 4. We got part 3 today. Are you available next week as well?
Yeah, just let me know anytime if I'm free. I'll jump in.
We might have to do another part, of this class, because listen, it's so heavy how we need each other more than ever. We just showed you with Carmelo Anthony, you cannot rely on these heathens. These heathens love one another more than they will ever love everybody. The church tells you to love everybody when everybody tells you they love one another before ever being even able to thinking about loving everybody. And that's what it shows in Carmelo Anthony's case. But let's go into the next article real quick. Part of the class we might have to do it next week as well. Shalom, Kamari, Abasha. Let me share my screen. Now, this is recent. This is about the Asian man that unalived a brother for accusing him of stealing, what, a 89-cent bottle of water? Come on, man.
Yeah, this story is sad right here.
God, but I don't think that's even the saddest part of the story, and I'm going to break down why. South Carolina jury finds store owner not guilty of murder in killing of black teens. We're just gonna leave it there. We're not even gonna go into the article. You understand? It's just sad. So here's the problem, right? This Chinaman comes over here and is able to set up shop, around us. All Chinese people do it. They set up shop around our people. They poison our people. China Mac is on camera saying that as the Chinese mafia, which they call the triad, they were not allowed to sell drugs in Chinese neighborhoods. In New York, the Chinese will sell drugs in black and Latino neighborhoods. They do that everywhere. You understand? They can't. They don't care. Well, damn, they'll have to break this down. Do we need a part two even? No nation will put another nation above their own. That's not the craziest part, right? We're the only people who do it. The only reason there was able to have a Stop Asian Hate Crime bill is because of us. The only reason every single nation is able to have quote unquote rights in Esau's kingdom, of course, because Esau, the devil, wants them to oppress us, but it's because of us that they are protected. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? And I'm not making this up. Let me share my screen real quick before we get into some more precepts. It says right here, it is a fundamental truth of history that black activists, organizers, and everyday people who march for civil rights, from the 1960s movement to the massive Black Lives Matter mobilizations, and for whatever reason, they don't want to mention Hispanics, which were also included, such as the Brown Berets, right? Did so to dismantle systemic barriers and ensure fair treatment for everyone. You know what that means? The LGBTQ community have gay rights thanks to black people. Every single minority, East Indian, Middle Eastern, Asian, are able to be protected because of black people. During COVID, they implemented a Stop Asian Hate Crime bill because we know where COVID came from. They eat bat, rat, cat, whatever they eat, and they bring it back over here. It was a whole pandemic. People were beating up Asians like, yo, this is your fault. There's COVID. There was a bill put in place to protect Asians, thanks to black people. Now, these same Asians, like that Chinaman in South Carolina, who's able to be protected thanks to black people, turn around and shoots a young, innocent black boy. We're all we got. You understand? Now, don't go vandalizing his store. He's going to get insurance. You know how he's getting insurance? With the money that you spend in the store in the first place. It's your money that's paying for the store. Then again, how many of y'all, so-called blacks, Latinos, and natives, are going to boycott the Asian community? How many of y'all? Let's see if we could actually stand one another. What's that precept again? So like, let me bring that precept real quick. It says to the Bootkiss precept, to love in deeds, not in words.
Book of John.
Somewhere in John, yeah? Wait 1 second.
My little children, believe, let us love in word. Or it's like, let us not love in word, but in deed.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, that's heavy. You know what I mean? Like, I have a tough time getting, past that part where, like, you telling me a 14-year-old stole a, and turned out he didn't even steal it, but you thought that he took a water bottle. That's what you thought. You thought he took a water bottle.
Right.
And that was enough for you to chase him down armed? You armed against a 14-year-old? Bring a pistol with you? And then take his life? Damn.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was him. There was another case. A Chinaman shot a 9-year-old in the back. I don't know if that's the same Chinaman. I wouldn't be surprised because he has another case. He has multiple cases of assault.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But that's the precept right here, right? First John chapter 3, verse 18 says, "My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue." Y'all saying, may he rise again, RIP. Let's boycott Chinese people, all these Asian people, all these Asian restaurants, these Asian businesses. Are you actually going to do it, or are you just going to talk the talk? You might do it for a week until you get hungry. Listen, the Day of Atonement is coming. All you fake Israelites, I know for a fact, you fake Israelites are going to try and observe the Day of Atonement and be like, yo, I'm starving. Let me go get some chow mein.
God.
You understand? Let me get some spring rolls. You black Muslims out here. It says, but in deed and in truth, y'all need to talk the talk and walk the walk. That's what y'all need to do. You understand? Listen, y'all, you could just Google a recipe on how to make fried rice, right? And never go buy anything from China again.
Shoot, I hear, Barack, that all those recipes they got from black people.
Listen, if you want Korean fried chicken, you go down south. Korean fried chicken is black people fried chicken that Koreans were taught how to do by black people during the Korean War. Y'all know that? Y'all better start boycotting them. Listen, you see, the problem is y'all love heathens too much. We covered that in the last two classes. We keep following heathens since the Garden of Eden. We covered that in the last two classes. A lot of y'all are gonna claim that you support a young brother. Come to find out, that Chinaman never loved you. You haven't seen the movie? What is it again? Damn, what's the movie again with Odog in them? Menace to Society, I think. Where the Chinaman is, yo, you bite me.
Yes.
The Chinese hate you. It's not, and they're not even shy about it. We just pulled up a story on Tuesday on Heads of State podcast with Captain Adar, right? In China, there are dolls called the Natasha dolls. Out of all the dolls they use as a stress relief toy by imitating abuse to the doll, waterboarding the doll, stomping on it, rolling over, running over the doll. They're using the black dolls. They hate you from China before they come to America, before they come to Canada. Canada, they closed down a homeless shelter that was inhabited by Native American Indians. Why? Because they were tired of seeing homeless Native Americans in Chinatown or around Chinatown. So they closed down the shelter. You'd rather see them somewhere lost in the streets of downtown than next to them. You understand? But you show compassion to the Chinese to the point where now they have a Stop Asian Hate Crime bill. You know what they did with a Stop Asian Hate Crime bill? They shot you in the back. They shot an innocent black boy who they're accused of stealing an 89-cent water bottle. What was that? 89? It's $1.20 Canadian.
I don't even. I don't get it. You know
Let's say, for argument's sake, he actually stole a water bottle. He should lose his life for $1. It shows you that your life to these disgusting, filthy heathens from the tabernacles of Moab, who are the Chinese, the Ishmaelites, who are the Arabs, the Edomites, who are the white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, is not even worth $1. You think they care about making you lose $1? They're stealing a couple of dollars from you. You think they give a damn? They didn't. Even when you were worth more than $1 during slavery, they could replace you. That's why they had breeding farms. You understand? You're not worth more than a penny to them. What was 89 cents back in the days? You know, what you call it? Money changes value every year.
Right.
You understand? Let me see. Because $1 Canadian is 72 cents US. Damn, he was worth $1.24, not even $1.25. He ain't even worth 5 quarters. That's crazy. But just know this: you march that these people could have a Stop Asian Hate Crime bill for them to turn around, not only oppress you, steal all the money from the black community. The Chinese woman said it. She said, Chinese Asian community are forbidden to open up shop in white neighborhoods. They are to open up shop only in black and Latino neighborhoods. All that money they make from you, you know what they do with it? They invest in bullets, guns, and reinvest in the community by shooting you in the back. That's how they reinvest all the money you spend on them. All the chow mein, all the cheap stuff you buy from the Asian store. And let me play that clip real quick for time's sake. We're going to do a part 2 of the class. We have a 1,000 precepts to give you for you to understand that you should separate, and you're the only thing you got. You understand? Do you know they make birria, ramen birria? They make ramen noodles, Mexican version. Go eat that instead of the COVID-infected Chinese cheap shit that you like to buy. You're probably going to get COVID, the norovirus, the hantavirus, whatever virus they get by spreading, they spread by eating bats and rats and whatever they eat over there in China. Apparently, they make soup fetuses. You understand? Make it make sense. You really want to surround yourself with these people when these people despise you to the guts? You're not even worth $1 to them. Let me bring this clip real quick, right? And the worst part is this, and this is going to be heavy. The heavy part is in this clip we're about to play, right? This Asian man speaks in a way where y'all want to boycott the Chinese community? Go ahead. You need us. We don't need you. And that's how they see it. Even though that you marched so that they could have a Stop Asian Hate Crime bill today, they spit in your face right when they got that bill. They established communities as Chinatown. They established communities as them uptown in Montreal is damn near Southeast Asia. A bunch of Filipinos, Laotians, or whatnot. In Cali, what they have in Cali? Little Filipino, little Cambodia. This spat in your face as soon as they got settled. Let me play that clip real quick. Salakia.
When the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses, please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the black culture and the hip hop culture. Where do you think that's made in? That's made all in Asia.
You hear this goddamn gook? Salaki. I'm gonna say it. The hell with it. I can check. I don't give a damn. You hear this goddamn Asian man? Well, we never had any black laundromats before. Did you not know when we had segregation, we were forced to have our own businesses? Making it seem like we need them, they need us. You understand? Let me make a quick precept real quick. This is the book of First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 11, right? Because you have that same mentality. That's why he's able to be so comfortable in saying what he's saying. First Maccabees 1 and 11 says, in those days when they're out of Israel, wicked men, like who? Like Martin Luther King, who taught you about integration. It's a good thing, right? Who you mark civil rights for everybody. Who persuaded many, who persuaded you, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. So like your grandmother, your great-grandmother was probably a slave. Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. Now, this is specifically speaking about the Greeks when they had us in captivity. But that's applied when you join the Muslims, when you join this disgusting, filthy, rat-eating Asian that's telling you, you need them while they don't need you, when it's the total opposite, because they didn't get a Stop Asian Hate Crime bill because they marched. No Asian is known for marching. We are known for marching. If today, they regard the Muslim community with a certain amount of respect, it'd be because of black Muslims. You understand? It is an attack on Christianity. Listen, do you know why? Right? They giving women, they regarding the feminist movement with such high regards, because white sluts brainwashed our women. I don't want to say brainwashed, tarnished our women's mind into thinking this is all about women and we need you. They only needed numbers, and they would never have achieved any success in the feminist movement if it wasn't for blacks, Latina, and natives. Come to find out, the feminist movement is about white women wanting to be sluts. They wanted to be sexual deviants because their husband would not touch them. That's why the feminist movement was all about. It was only successful. Why? Because y'all tarnished our women's mind into thinking it's all about womanhood, and they need black women, they need Latinas, they need natives, woman power. That's bullshit. How do you know it's bullshit? Because they voted for a president that said grab him by the box. They voted for a convicted rapist who happens to be on Epstein's island eating little white boys and little white girls and doing who knows what. Salaki.
God, if I could jump in too, like this is, to another point, understanding, like really understanding these people are our enemies, because you're gonna sit here and say that what, you boycott me, you can't have that Honda Civic you like driving, when a black man would say, who gives a damn? My 14-year-old boy is not worth the life of driving a Honda Civic.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what you have to offer me. You telling me that's worth a 14-year-old boy's life? That's how much hatred they have for us. Where you actually think that, and white people say the same thing. You guys, we took you from Africa, we brought you to America, and now you have running water. As if you murdering my people is worth having running water, worth having some sewage system. I'm not even going to get to the point of saying whether you created the shit or not. But the fact that you actually believe in your mind, well, now you can't have a microphone. Now you can't have a TV. Now you can't have that headsuit that we made in China. God forbid I can't wear Nikes anymore because of the disgusting act that was done to my people.
Right.
He's not even thinking about that. I'm supposed to be affected because I don't have a goddamn TV in my house. That's what's worth a 14-year-old's life. You have to accept my oppression. You have to accept me taking a 14-year-old's life. Let me read this really quick.
Kawakan.
This, I can share my screen on this too.
Kawakan.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Because this isn't the only incident that this man did. It says in 2013, Chow chased 2 men accused of stealing beer and fired 3 shots at their car as they drove away. So your beer is worth my life. It says in 2015, Chow fought with a woman he suspected of shoplifting beer and peanuts, eventually firing 6 shots at her vehicle.
Damn.
So, God forbid, Barack, if I choose to boycott shopping at Cho's restaurant, now I can't have beer and peanuts. I can't have what he has to offer me. As if that's supposed to affect my goddamn life? You crazy? Ask somebody, would you rather have your life or a TV in their house? You can unalive my little child, you know what I mean, in trading for some $10,000 Honda Civic. That's the mind of these people. They are your enemies.
Damn
They
right.
hate you. They have no compassion for you. They don't give a damn about you. He's missing the point. This last one, it says, child confronted a man suspected of hiding a can of oven cleaner and shot him in the leg.
Damn.
I'm curious to know how much, how much money he makes a year off this store. You know what I mean? I'm curious to know because the cops never thought none of those were a good enough reason to take his gun away from him. You firing at a woman for stealing peanuts? There's something wrong with this society, Barack.
Kawakan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kawakan is going to finish this real quick. It said, let us go make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. You're seeing the total opposite. Imagine, listen, we make the world run. We make the world go round. Did you know that the only reason people are so attracted by martial arts and kung fu movies is because of black people? Now you tell this Asian man is telling us we need him. Let's play that clip again. Because that was, you know how insulting that is. He's not even regarding the life of the 14-year-old that died. He said, yo, y'all want to boycott us? Go ahead. You need us. You need our laundromats. You need the liquor stores. What do you mean? We need your liquor stores. You need your microphones. As if we were not making music. Listen, we make music since slavery. What was the Asian made microphone in slavery? What do you mean? We had to walk around the whole goddamn island, from continents to continents, running from slave masters. And you're talking about we need your Honda Civic? Listen, we're about to treat your Hondas like the Jewish man treats German cars. How about that? And let's see who buys them now. Let's play that clip again.
Asian businesses. Please do. We'll
check it out.
I love when the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the black culture and hip hop culture. What do you think that's made in? That's made all in Asia.
It's like it, Brock.
Boastful.
It's like it, Brock. Can you grab Psalms 108 and 9?
Kawakan.
You know what I mean? I can't even take this shit seriously. You know what I mean? He like I gotta give Moab a hand. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to sell himself on the wonderful things that they have to bring to society. You know what I mean? If Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous only understood who we really were, you know what I mean? Like this is laughable. Let me tell you something. Asians have nothing, absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? To give to society.
Right.
They really don't. This earth will be perfectly fine without Asians. You know what I mean? We don't need your inventions. We don't need your way of life. We don't need anything from you. I promise you. You know what I mean? These little Chinese people, we'll be good without you. You know what I mean? And God understood this. Go ahead and read that verse.
Karawakan, this is Book of Psalms, chapter 108, verse 9. Moab is my washpot.
These Asians are the Most High's washpot. You know what I mean? You are nothing. You are less than nothing. Who gives a damn about Asians and their inventions? How many things a black man has invented? He couldn't get to outer space without the mind of a black woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? The amount of inventions we have trumps anything these people could ever do. We were, 40 years removed out of slavery? And we built Black Wall Street, the richest banking system on the earth. couple of years removed out of slavery. We'll be perfectly fine without Asians.
Damn right.
You talk about well, you said Asian restaurants. Have you lost your mind?
It's lucky if I could.
Go ahead.
The only thing Asians brought is COVID.
Right.
Asians brought COVID. You understand? The only thing that was great about that, nobody had to go to work. Gas prices were down. The government is handing away money. But that's because you eat rat. Now, what's so beneficial? What did Asians actually bring? You know what you Asians bring? If we start boycotting Asians, you know what's gonna happen? People are right. Maybe they're gonna look at who's actually bringing all the fentanyl and the opioids in North America. It's not Mexicans. It's not Venezuelans. It's these Asians who are forced to sell more opioids than ever before because nobody is buying Sony. Nobody is buying the microphones that he said we need. Nobody's buying the Jordans. Nobody is going to the Asian laundromat. They're going bankrupt. Now they have to openly sell opioids, as they're already doing. They're just accusing Mexicans. They're just using Mexicans as scapegoats. That's it. You see this? Look at this. This is Asia right here.
These are the restaurants.
This is what they serve in your restaurant. Listen, they tell you need to come to the Asian restaurant. You can't make it without being in an Asian restaurant. Well, this is what they serve in an Asian restaurant. For those on Bigo, what we're showing you is the meat they serve in an Asian restaurant is these rats, these dogs, these cats. And don't think it's just in Asia. There are videos going on around. They're getting caught in France. They're getting caught in the UK. They're getting caught in New York, literally offloading trucks of dog meat in the Chinese restaurant. And they tell you, you're gonna boycott the Chinese restaurant. Well, you're gonna miss the chow mein, that fried rice, those spring rolls. You're gonna miss that if you boycott us. Listen, you probably fed us some unlawful stuff anyways. We just didn't. Nobody asked questions. That's it. You know, ain't no need to ask questions. Boycott the Asians. If you truly love your people, not in word but in deed. You gotta walk the walk. You can't just talk the talk. We know when we say we support black businesses in the I.S.U.P.K, we do. This shirt, black owned. All these that we wear is black owned. You understand? We support one another. Right? That's what you need to understand. We're the only thing we got. You want to eat some ramen noodles? You know, Mexican, they make taco birria. They make ramen birria. They make the ramen, the Mexican version. Go eat some Mexican ramen. Goddamn, it tastes even better. I'm telling you right now, they make it with carne de res, meaning it's beef. You understand? It's real beef. It's not no rat advertised as beef. It's real beef. You understand? You want to go eat to the East Indian restaurant, you find a piece of hair in your food, that's your problem. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat some curry goat from a Jamaican restaurant. I'm going to eat some curry doubles from a Trini restaurant run by real, authentic Trini people, not in dusty, stinking East Indian coolies. We're the only thing we got. We have to support one another. They don't give a listen. Again, they don't give a. This is how he's showing you right here, right? That you need them when you don't. We have Black Wall Street. Where were the Asians during Black Wall Street? Where were they? It's a propaganda that Asians are the smartest. It's a propaganda they're good at math. Asians are dumb as hell. You know how I know they're dumb as hell? They literally work themselves to death to the point where they jump off of buildings because they work too much. They're stupid. Asians are so stupid that there is a surgery. It's called an eyelid surgery. They literally have surgery to have their eyes open. It's a fact. That's this. Listen, you think we need Asians nail salon? Do you know how many black nail techs we have? We don't need Asians nail salon. We don't. We don't need heathens, period. We don't need Asians. We don't need Arabs. We don't need none of them. We need us, and we're the only thing we got. We especially don't need the goddamn white man who's a devil the Bible speaks of. The worst of them all. You understand? But we're running short on time. About to end the class right here. We'll be back next Thursday. You understand? Because, hey, listen, I didn't expect us to be long-winded like that. We didn't even get through all the material we had for y'all today. But we'll be back next Thursday. We'll start with that clip again. Just know that the Asians need us. We don't need them. We make their money. How do we know that they need us? Because nowadays they have Japanese dancehall, they have Japanese hip hop, they have Korean pop. It's us. Korean fried chicken. That's the culture vulture. They put Korean in front of fried chicken, which black people made amazing. That's it. No. But we're gonna end the class right here. We're gonna get the security announcements. And we'll be back next Thursday. Make sure y'all tune in. Subscribe to I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Toronto, IET, Boston on YouTube. Follow I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Canada on Facebook. On my personal page on Bigo, Barak Ya'ala, UPK. Right? We're live for class every Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had the honor of having Officer 1000 Shaiwan joining us today. Right? So we'll end the class and read a security announcement. Anything you want to say before we clip it out of one?
No, you got it, bro. Go ahead.
Okay, Mosiah and Christ. With that, clap it up. We're going to end the class, get security announcements. So lock you. This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, which means tenth in the Hebrew, pronounced ma'ashara, which is 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amounts you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. We just closed the Feast of First Fruits last Sunday. Next up, we have the Memorial of Blowing of Trumpets, which will be the first day of the 7th month, which falls on Friday, September 11th. You can read more about it in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 and 25. Reminder to all Akim wa Akwatian, reminder to all brothers and sisters to check the bulletin board in the hallway of their school if they have a physical location. And if any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. Well, that would give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. In the visual imajam, which means to stand, we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. It's like when you're still on the Beagle other one, just to let you know. Imajam, which means to stand, we'll give a courtesy salute to the sisters. In the visual imajam Shabbat. Imajam, Barak, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Brakatham, mean Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless y'all. Yajamata mean hands down. Sar, which means to turn. Turn and fit the sisters, we'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Mina visual Imajam Shabbat. Imajam, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bahashem Yahweh Shai, mean Yahweh watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata, class dismissed. To order for everybody who tuned in.
Check me out, dog. Roll the window up, man. The water. Ain't no better, dog, brother. The son of a king. I don't Balenciaga. I might just wear Kyla. I might just wear the Pradas, but I'm thinking long term, so I might say the dollars. We ain't no better, I'm just being honest. I should've went to college, but I was thinking violence. It's a one West world, we the fucking loudest. Break it down, we break ground, we don't break no damn promise. Let's get active, dawg. Don't tell me how you feel about it. These cats saying too much, they ain't learn enough. You maxed out the first quarter, I'm still warming up. These niggas tossing up a brick, they can't score with us. Who gon' come against us? On the Lord with us. Them niggas riding for you, hope they ride till they crash. Put my name in your mouth, I put my belt to your ass. I ain't running no race, I just hope that I last. All them niggas you look up to, I consider them trash. Only time you seen a leader was in Wayne hand. Niggas will dab you, then pop you with the same hand. I'm a main player, I stick to the game plan. He don't really fuck with you, that's your main man. We them niggas came through and made your city hot. Yep, said he in the field, but he really not. And I ain't casting no stone, I just let him rock. And that's the kind of story they gon' read about. But if it's war, it ain't no tapping out. Grip still heat, spit like a dragon mouth.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're